Welcome back. Today's topic is billing and cost management, budgets, Cost Explorer, CUR, pricing calculator, and honestly, this is one of my favorites in the whole Amazon Web Services, the Amazon Web Services Certified Cloud Practitioner Exam Mastery. Here's why. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which Amazon Web Services cost tool to reach for in any scenario. Whether you need to estimate a workload before launch, get alerted before you overspend, or hand finance the raw line items. Here's the mistake engineers make over and over. They default to Cost Explorer to forecast a brand new workload, and that's the wrong tool. We'll fix that mental model for good. There are 4 core tools. They map cleanly onto a timeline, and once you see that timeline, the scenario questions practically answer themselves. In episode 17, we covered the EC2 pricing models: on-demand, reserved instances, spot, and savings plans. So you already know how Amazon Web Services charges for compute. And back in episode 27, we touched on CloudWatch alarms and the fact that billing data isn't real-time. Now we're zooming out to the tools that estimate that spend before it happens, alarm you while it's happening, and analyze it after the fact. Let's pin down 5 terms you'll hear throughout this video. Amazon Web Services Budgets is the proactive tool. It alerts you by email or SMS when spend crosses a threshold you set. Cost Explorer is the analysis tool. It visualizes spend that already happened, with filters and trends. The Cost and Usage Report, or CUR, is the most granular dataset Amazon Web Services produces, delivered to an S3 bucket you own. The pricing calculator we already covered back in episode 2, so we're just referencing it here, not redefining it. And cost anomaly detection uses machine learning to automatically flag spending that looks unusual. Picture this: someone on the CodeGorillas team spins up an oversized R6i.4 extra-large instance late on a Friday, forgets about it, and goes home. It runs all weekend. By Monday, that one instance has quietly turned into a 5-figure line on the invoice. And here's the painful part: by the time that bill shows up, the money is already gone. Amazon Web Services built a chain of 4 tools specifically to prevent this exact story from happening, and knowing which one to reach for is what separates the engineer who gets surprised by invoices from the one finance actually trusts. So here's the mental model that settles almost every cost question you'll face. Pricing calculator is before. It estimates cost ahead of deployment. Budgets is the alarm. It warns you in flight. Cost Explorer is for analysis. It shows where the money already went. And the Cost and Usage Report is the export, raw line items for finance. Lock those 4 words in: before, alarm, analyze, export. Get that timeline straight, and the rest of this video is just filling in the detail. Let's walk that timeline left to right. First, before you deploy anything, the pricing calculator models what your architecture will cost per month. Then, once your workload is running, budget sits in flight and fires an alarm the moment spend crosses a line you've drawn. After money has been spent, Cost Explorer lets you analyze where it actually went and why. And finally, when finance needs every line item, the Cost and Usage Report exports that detail straight to an S3 bucket. Each tool owns 1 slot on the timeline. If you want one picture to hang all of this on, think of a road trip. The pricing calculator is the fuel cost estimate you work out before you even leave the driveway. Budgets is the low fuel warning light that beeps before you hit empty, so you can act in time. Cost Explorer is sitting down afterward and going through the receipts to see where the money went. And the Cost and Usage Report is the itemized printout of every single gas station stop, the kind of detail your accountant actually wants. Same trip, 4 different views, depending on when you need them. Let's start with budgets, because it's the one you'll see most. The idea is simple. You set a custom threshold and Amazon Web Services watches it for you. And it's not just dollars. You can budget on cost, on usage, on reserved instance utilization or coverage, or on savings plan utilization or coverage. When actual or forecasted spend crosses your line, Budgets sends a notification, either to an email address, to an Amazon SNS topic, or to both. So whenever a question says notify me when spend exceeds some amount, your default answer is Amazon Web Services Budgets. Here's how the Amazon Web Services documentation puts it. You can have notifications sent to an Amazon SNS topic, to an email address, or to both. That SNS integration matters, because once a notification lands on a topic, you can fan it out to a Lambda function that shuts down resources, to a chat channel, wherever. The budget is the trigger. SNS is how you turn that trigger into action. Now there's an important distinction inside budgets: actual versus forecasted alerts. An actual alert fires once, when your real spend has already crossed the threshold. That's useful, but it's reactive. The money's already gone. A forecasted alert is the proactive one. It fires when Amazon Web Services predicts you're going to cross the threshold, based on your trend. That's the alert that would have caught the weekend R6I.4X large before the invoice ever landed. The one catch: forecasting needs roughly 5 weeks of usage history before Amazon Web Services can predict accurately. On a brand new account, you lean on actual alerts until that history builds up. Here's a caveat that bites people in practice: billing data is not real time. It can lag up to 24 hours. Practitioners on the Amazon Web Services repost community forum report alarms firing only after charges hit 20 times their threshold, simply because the data caught up late. The fix is to set your budget thresholds well below your true pain point, so that even with the lag, the alert still reaches you while there's time to react. Don't set the alarm at the cliff edge. Set it a good distance back from it. Once the money has been spent, the question shifts to where did it go, and that's Cost Explorer. It visualizes your past and current costs as charts and trends, so you can actually see what's driving the bill. It shows up to 13 months of history, the current month, and a forecast up to 18 months ahead. The real power is in the filtering. You can group by service, by linked account, by tag, by region, or by instance type to slice the spend any way you need. On top of that, it surfaces reserved instance and savings plan purchase recommendations based on your historical usage. Let's put Cost Explorer to work on that weekend incident. You start by grouping the spend by service, and EC2 instances jump out, up over 900% versus the prior week. So you drill in, filter by region, and it narrows to us East 1. Filter by linked account, and it lands on one client production account. The instance type is the R6I.4X large, running 72 hours straight, the whole weekend. And the forecast warns that if the trend continues, you're looking at another $9,000 over the next 30 days. That's the diagnostic story. Cost Explorer told you exactly what, where, and how much. So Budgets and Cost Explorer are partners, but they answer different questions. Budgets is proactive. It pushes an alert at you against a threshold, answering "Tell me when I'm overspending." It comes to you by email or SNS. Cost Explorer is diagnostic. It analyzes spend after the fact and answers where did the money go and why. It's a dashboard you pull open and explore. The queue is simple. If the scenario wants a notification, that's Budgets. If it wants understanding, that's Cost Explorer. Sometimes Cost Explorer's charts aren't enough, because finance wants the raw numbers to crunch themselves. That's the Cost and Usage Report. It's the most granular cost and usage dataset Amazon Web Services produces, full stop. It lands as CSV or Parquet files in an S3 bucket you own, updated up to once a day. The granularity is extreme. One line item for every unique combination of product, usage type, and operation. And because it sits in S3, it plugs straight into Athena, Redshift, and QuickSight. So analysts can build their own chargeback dashboards on top of it. Amazon Web Services states it plainly. Cost and usage reports contain the most comprehensive set of cost and usage data available, and you can use them to publish your billing reports to an Amazon S3 bucket that you own. 2 phrases to hold on to there: most comprehensive and S3 bucket that you own. Whenever a question pairs the words most granular or line item detail with delivery to S3 for a finance or business intelligence team, that's the cost and usage report. Think of it like your bank app. Cost Explorer is the dashboard summary view, clean charts, good enough for most people most of the time, all inside the Amazon Web Services console. The cost and usage report is the full transaction export you hand to an accountant who wants to slice every single line in their own spreadsheet. So the dividing line is this: if the console charts answer the question, use Cost Explorer. If finance needs raw line items to feed into business intelligence, or BI, tools, that's the cost and usage report. Now we go all the way back to the start of the timeline, before anything is even running. That's the pricing calculator. The public version at calculator.amazon Web Services is completely free, and there's also an in-console version that gives you 5 free bill estimates per month. Its whole job is to estimate the cost of a workload or architecture before a single resource exists. You can model different pricing models side by side, on demand, reserved instances, and savings plans to compare, and it produces a shareable estimate, so finance can sign off on the number before you ever click launch. Here's the official definition, and the key phrase is at the end. The Amazon Web Services pricing calculator lets you explore Amazon Web Services services and create cost estimates for your use cases before you commit any resources. Before you commit any resources, that single phrase is what separates this tool from everything else we've covered. Nothing has to exist yet for the pricing calculator to work. Here's a decision rule worth slowing down for. When you need to estimate the cost of a new workload that hasn't been deployed yet, reach for the pricing calculator, not Cost Explorer. It's tempting to use Cost Explorer because it has a forecast feature, but that forecast only extrapolates usage that already happened. It cannot model an architecture that doesn't exist yet. So the rule is simple: new workload, before launch, means pricing calculator. That same distinction comes up in scenario questions. Now, all this filtering and grouping only works if your spend is labeled, and that's what cost allocation tags do. They're key value labels that group spend by project, department, or owner. In your billing reports, user-defined tags appear with a user colon prefix to distinguish them from Amazon Web Services generated tags, like AWS colon created by, and that prefix is just how Cost Explorer and the cost and usage report label them, not something you'll see on the resource tag itself. Tags are what turn one undifferentiated bill into a sentence like the data team spent this much. And once they're working, they show up as a grouping dimension in both Cost Explorer and the cost and usage report. Think of tagging like labeling boxes when you move house. Writing kitchen or garage on each box isn't enough on its own. You also have to tell the movers to sort by those labels. Same with cost allocation tags. Amazon Web Services says it directly. You must activate both types of tags separately before they can appear in Cost Explorer or on a cost allocation report. Applying the tag is only half the job. If you skip the activation step, your carefully tagged spend simply never shows up. 3 caveats here that people actually hit. First, it's always 2 steps. The tag must be applied to the resource and activated in the billing console. Second, only the management or payer account can activate tags. If you're in a member account wondering where the activation option is, that's why you'll never see it. Third, tags aren't retroactive by default, so spend from before activation shows as untagged. Since March 2024, though, you can submit a backfill request to apply tags to up to 12 months of past usage. Budgets is great when you know the number to watch, but what about the surprises you never thought to set a budget for? That's Cost Anomaly Detection. It's a free service that learns your spend patterns, including seasonality and growth, using machine learning. It runs about 3 times a day and automatically flags spending that looks unusual. When it finds something, it ranks the anomalies by dollar impact across 4 dimensions: service, account, region, and usage type, so it catches the weird, unexpected stuff that a fixed threshold would simply miss. The cleanest way to keep these two apart is a driving analogy. A budget is a speed limit sign. It alerts you when you cross a number that you set in advance. Cost anomaly detection is a smart dashcam. It learns how you normally drive, and it flags the moment you do something weird, even if you're technically under the limit. So the cue is the wording. Alert me when spend exceeds a specific number. That's budgets. Automatically detect unusual spend with no fixed number to define. That's cost anomaly detection. One quick caveat: anomaly detection doesn't monitor third-party marketplace products, so for those, fall back to budgets. Let's talk about the free tier, because it splits into 3 categories you need to keep straight. First, always free. These offers never expire. Lambda gives you 1 million requests a month, and DynamoDB gives you 25 gigabytes of storage, indefinitely. Second, the 12-month free tier. These start the day you create your account and run for a year. The classic examples are EC2 at 750 hours a month on a T2 or T3 micro, and S3 at 5 gigabytes. Third, trials, short-term offers that end after a set window, like guard duty for 30 days and inspector for its trial period. Always free, 12-month, trials, 3 buckets. Here's a detail worth memorizing exactly, because it's a classic trick. That EC2 allowance of 750 hours a month is per account, not per instance. A lot of people assume each instance gets its own 750 hours. It doesn't. The hours are pooled across the whole account, so if you run 2 T2.micro instances around the clock, that's 1500 hours in a month, which blows right past the free limit. One instance running constantly fits in 750 hours. 2 does not. Per account, not per instance. One note to keep you current. Amazon Web Services has changed the free tier for new accounts. Accounts created on or after July 15, 2025 receive up to $200 in credits, usable over roughly a 6-month window, instead of the old 12-month monthly allowance model. The always free services, like Lambda and DynamoDB, remain available to every account. Here's the practical takeaway. The exam still tests the classic 3-category model: always free, 12-month, and trials, so that's what you learn for the test. Just be aware that Amazon Web Services has been changing how this works, in case it ever comes up. Let's collapse everything into a keyword cheat sheet. Estimate a new workload before launch. Pricing calculator. Alert me when spend exceeds a number. Amazon Web Services budgets. By email or SNS, analyze where past spend went. Cost Explorer. Line item detail delivered to S3 for finance or BI, the cost and usage report. Auto-detect unusual spend using machine learning, cost anomaly detection, and group spend by project or department, cost allocation tags. Match the phrase in the question to the row, and the answer falls right out. Let's lock in 5 things. 1. The timeline model. Pricing calculator is before, budgets is the alarm, Cost Explorer is analyze, and the cost and usage report is export. 2. Estimating a new workload is always the pricing calculator, never Cost Explorer. 3. Budgets pushes alerts via email or SNS against a number you set, while cost anomaly detection uses machine learning with no fixed threshold. 4. EC2's 750 free hours are per account, not per instance. And 5. Cost allocation tags must be both applied and activated, and only the management account can activate them. Now let's see how well that stuck with a quick 5-question quiz. Let's test what you've learned. Question 1. A team is designing a new 3-tier application and wants to know the estimated monthly cost before they deploy any resources. Which Amazon Web Services tool should they use? Is it A, the Amazon Web Services pricing calculator, B, Cost Explorer using its forecast feature. C. Amazon Web Services budgets with a forecasted alert. Or D. The cost and usage report. Pause here if you want more time. The answer is A. The Amazon Web Services pricing calculator. It's the only tool that models cost before anything is deployed. The classic trap is choosing Cost Explorer because it has a forecast, but that forecast only extends usage that already happened. It can't price an architecture that doesn't exist yet. Question 2. An account owner wants to receive an email and trigger an automated workflow whenever monthly spend crosses $5,000. Which service directly meets this requirement? Is it A. Cost Anomaly Detection, B. Amazon Web Services budgets with Amazon SNS notifications, C. Cost Explorer, or D. The cost and usage report? Lock in your answer before I give it away. This one is B. Amazon Web Services budgets with Amazon SNS notifications. The requirement names a fixed threshold, $5,000, which points straight at budgets, and because notifications can go to an SNS topic, you can fan that out to a Lambda function to run the automated workflow. Anomaly detection would be wrong here, since there's a specific number being defined. Question 3. A finance team needs the most granular, line-item cost and usage data delivered automatically so they can ingest it into their own BI dashboards. Which Amazon Web Services source should they configure? Is it A. Cost Explorer exported as a PDF, B. Amazon Web Services budgets reports, C. The cost and usage report delivered to S3, or D. Pricing calculator estimates? Think about which constraint matters most here. The right call here is C. The cost and usage report delivered to S3. The phrase most granular line-item data, paired with ingestion into BI tools, is the cost and usage report's signature. It lands in an S3 bucket you own and plugs into Athena, Redshift, and QuickSight. Cost Explorer's exports just can't match that level of detail. Question 4. A developer launches two T2.micro instances and runs both around the clock for a full month under the 12-month free tier. What is the likely billing outcome? Is it A. Both instances are fully free since each gets 750 hours, B. Only the first instance is free and the second is billed entirely, C. Neither is free because T2.micro isn't eligible, or D. They consume about 1,500 hours total, exceeding the per account limit, so part of the usage is billed. Got your pick? Let's see. It has to be D, and here's why. The 750-hour allowance is per account, not per instance. Two instances running constantly add up to about 1,500 hours in a month, so roughly half the usage spills past the free limit and gets billed. Option A is the exact misconception the exam is testing. There is no per instance pool of free hours. Last one. Question 5. A company wants to automatically detect unexpected spikes in spend without defining specific dollar thresholds, using machine learning to learn their normal patterns. Which service fits best? Is it A. Amazon Web Services Cost Anomaly Detection, B. Amazon Web Services budgets with a fixed cost threshold, C. Cost Explorer recommendations, or D. Cost allocation tags? Run the decision rule from earlier before you answer. If you said A, well done, cost anomaly detection. The giveaway phrases are machine learning, learns your patterns, and without defining specific thresholds. That's the smart dashcam tool, not the speed limit sign. Budgets would be wrong here precisely because it requires a fixed number you set up front. That's the whole story on billing and cost management, budgets, Cost Explorer, CUR, pricing calculator. If one diagram stuck with you, share it with a teammate who's also studying. See you in the next one.